All right. Good evening, everybody, fellow brothers and sisters. I appreciate you coming back to my channel and joining me in this next video that we're doing here. Again, we are still doing the Back to Basics series here. Today we're going to be doing part 4, and part 4 is actually going to be a two-parter, actually. So we're going to have part 4 section 1 and then part 4 section 2. And we'll get into a little bit of what that's going to entail here a little bit in just a bit. So back to basics, part 4, we're going to be talking about Kundalini Energy and opening the chakras, the energy centers in the body. And then in section 2, I'm going to give a little bit of a little bit more information, and then kind of walk you through a little bit of a meditation or a process in order to open the chakras there. And then I'll probably have at least get those 2 videos done tonight, and then hopefully I can get at least another 1 video done tomorrow on Sunday before the end of the weekend. So we'll see what happens here. So before we get into all that, of course, if you are a member to my channel already, I do appreciate that very much. Thank you for stopping by. And if you do know anybody who would benefit from these videos, I would appreciate it if you would share those with them. If you do like this video and the content that I'm putting out, please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that very much. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, there should be a small bell icon here on the lower, just below the right-hand portion of the screen. If you select that bell icon, you will be given a notification anytime that I upload any new videos to my channel for you to be able to watch. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the discussion here. Before we get into all this, of course, regarding the subject matters of health magic and personal healing magic, consider all information herein to be informative for information purposes and speculative and not for professional advice. Use at your own risk. I, the author of this video, am not responsible for consequences of your actions. Okay, and the information is never intended to replace or substitute for psychological or medical advice from a professional medical practitioner, and this information is provided on the understanding that you will use it in accordance with the laws of your country. Okay, so again, we're talking about Kundalini Energy and opening the chakras. So, basically, as we all know, everything in the universe vibrates at a specific rate, as everything in the universe is made up of energy, different types of energy. Okay, and the human body, in the human body, that force is often depicted as the fiery serpent. Okay, or some people refer to it as a serpent energy or the dragon force. Either way, it's called Kundalini Energy. Okay, and so that's what we're talking about here today. As we awaken this Kundalini Energy, and it travels up our spine to the crown chakra and out of the crown chakra, this energy is that is raised into the higher chakras, helps to transmute that energy from more sexual base energy into a higher spiritual energy. And when that energy is transformed, it leads to things like greater intelligence and more awareness within the world around us. Okay, this also helps to illuminate us and liberate us from illusions of the material world. So, basically, the coiled serpent on this path is ages old. Okay, you're going to find it in a lot of older mythical texts. It's going to vary a little bit here and there, but it's found in many traditions. Basically, the imagery is of a coiled serpent that travels up the pillar of ascent. Is actually a representation of self-liberation and self-knowledge, and is an attainment to self-godhood. Okay, let me kind of move through my notes a little bit. Right, and so as this serpent ascends the spine, and the Kundalini energy is raised and it travels up through the energy channels, this energy activates all of our chakra centers as it passes up through, okay? And when the serpent finally reaches the third eye, the veil of illusion that is usually cast over the world, the illusions that impede us and keep us from being liberated are removed. Sometimes not immediately, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But then we are able to see things more clearly at that point. And so that can constitute as a lot of things, particularly like opening our third eye to be able to view entities or anything like that at that point. Okay, so as the fire serpent emerges through the top of our head, of course, the crown chakra, it transforms into what is known as the dragon force or the dragon energy, and this is a state of heightened consciousness which awakens additional psychic powers which are associated with the reptilian part of our brain. Okay, the word Kundalini actually comes from a Sanskrit word which means coiled or circular power, and each chakra is associated or believed to be connected with a particular part of the body or emotions and spiritual concepts. And during states of well-being, there's harmonious flow, and while there's states of imbalance, or dysfunctions, this often may lead to things like disease or mental health disorders or other imbalances within the physical or spiritual body. Now the process that I'm going to be taking you through when we do section 2 for the meditation is a fairly eclectic approach to raising Kundalini energy. You can generally find this particular one in a variety of books throughout just magical texts or even yogic texts or anything like that. You can even probably you can even find them online in a lot of places. And there, of course, there are variations, but we're just going to go with a very fairly eclectic approach. And the only thing that you really need to keep in mind is our goal. So you want to make connection with the dragon force here, and there are many ways, of course, to awaken this force. So regardless of what process we use, a successful Kundalini ascent will generally leave you feeling like your entire being, all your thoughts and emotions, just kind of explode like all at once with a great amount of power. And some people even feel or state that they're bathed in a type of electricity, where they have a type of electricity running through them at the time. Some will experience this process quickly, and of course others will experience this process slowly. And however, it's usually best that we take this process in successive stages, and this is simply to avoid anyone being to experience any physical or mental side effects with raising your Kundalini energy too quickly. But when done properly, this does aid the magical initiate to have greater freedom. I'm not talking like any type of. I'm talking like spiritual freedom at this point. A liberation type of freedom that is generally attained through magical ascent. Yeah. So generally, I'll just kind of like run through the process a little bit here, and then talk a little bit more about the chakras themselves, what kind of types of imbalances you can experience by one being overstimulated or understimulated, as well as other things about them. But then we'll get into the actual more of the actual meditation in the second part. Okay, so basically what you're going to end up doing is visualizing a fiery serpent coiled at the base of the spine. Okay, and this is in the back part at the base, right here at the sacral point of the spine, or the tailbone, basically, is where you want to visualize it at. That's your base chakra, your basic chakra, okay, or what people refer to as a root chakra, okay, and then through deep breaths, okay, you want to bring energy in to ignite that serpent, and then allow that air to awaken and activate the serpent force that is at the base of the spine. Okay, as the serpent force begins to rise up the spine, what you end up doing is you feel a volcanic explosion of energy that rises up through you as the serpent ascends up. Okay, this eruption basically takes the form of energy, and it ignites and activates all your cells within the body. It's cleansing, it's empowering, it's transforming. It's really a lot to take in. If it's your first time doing it, you're going to have a lot of sensations happening there. As it passes each chakra, of course, it ignites that chakra, it activates that chakra, and as it makes its way up to the crown and out of the body. Now, of course, we have everything that's below this point, so like the solar plexus and the heart and the root chakra and all that. Those are all considered lower chakras, and everything from the neck up is considered higher chakras. Okay, now how many chakras are there? Okay, that you have a lot of different variations on that. Most books, if you pick up most books, you're going to find that a lot of books just talk about 7 basic chakras. You have your root, and your sex chakra, your navel chakra, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat chakra, your ajna chakra, and your crown chakra. Okay, so you technically have, they talk about 7. Some other systems will describe 11 chakras. And still others will describe far, far more. Now, when I took a number of alternative medicine classes many, many years back, yeah, we started out learning about 11 chakras in the body, because we also talked about the spleen chakra, and that brings in air prana that nourishes the body. Okay, and then you have the wingman chakra, which is basically a chakra that's located right above the base chakra or the root chakra, and that works basically as a pump for the Kundalini energy and for circulating energy throughout the body. Okay, some people refer to that as like the rear part of the like another part of the navel chakra. I had a brain fart there for a minute. A lot of traditions, they say, oh, you just have a solar plexus chakra, and it's like right in the front, like right slightly above the navel chakra. But we talked about having a front chakra, like a front solar plexus chakra, and then a back solar plexus chakra. All right, same thing with the heart. In addition to that, we also had chakras in all parts of the body. Your organs have chakras. A lot of chakras near like a lot of energy points, particularly like if you do like acupuncture or acupressure or anything like that, you have a lot of chakras. For instance, you have chakras for your jawbones here, you have chakras for your ears in this area. Okay, you have a chakra on the back of your head. palms, both hands are going to have chakras, many chakras on your fingertips. Literally, we're just talking like hundreds, okay, at that point. And I don't want to confuse anybody. Like when I talk about this, if you just want to go with 7 chakras or 11 chakras, that's fine. Okay, I'm kind of just talking by my experience and what our teacher had taught us. Like your heart, you have 2 chambers of the heart. You have a chakra for each chamber of the heart. Okay, and everything just gets broken down, just like that. But again, I don't want to confuse anybody with that. But that comes with just taking educating yourself, taking classes at different places, reading all types of books and all that. Again, if you don't want to absorb that, you don't want to use that, that's totally up to you. All right. So, moving forward here, so let's go ahead and talk about the chakras at this point, and then we'll kind of cut off the video at that point, and then we'll get into the second part of this and with the actual meditation. So again, we have the root chakra, and this is connected with the element of earth, and it represents our connection with the earth. And school, rules over instincts of survival and basic needs, and that's why we sometimes call it a basic chakra. Okay, it balances both our physical and spiritual energies, and it primarily affects our physical body, especially the skeletal system. And when the root chakra is balanced, it ensures good vitality and growth, and that we're healthy in a very general aspect. Okay, and imbalances with the chakra often causes things like obsessions and survival issues, inability to make decisions or be able to move forward through our lives, particularly after we've had traumatic experiences. You may have issues with lack of trust and stuff, feelings of isolation, and similar things of that nature. If you do have an imbalance, you have a dysfunction where either it's overstimulated or understimulated, this can lead to low vitality, illness, chronic fatigue, diseases of the skin, bone, teeth, weight problems. Might be overweight, underweight. It just depends on how it's stimulated, how the imbalance is. Okay. So we're going to move on to the sex chakra, and of course this is in the front of the body, around the sexual organs, and this represents a lot of creativity and sexuality and self-esteem. And so what happens when we bring that base energy, that sexual energy, up from the base of the spine to the top of the crown, we're transforming it. This is basically a form of alchemy, really, is when you think about it. And we transform that energy, and it goes from an emotional, sexual energy that's very primal to higher intelligence, greater creativity, and it improves our emotional stability and all that. Okay, and again, it liberates us from illusions that are cast over our eyes, obviously as a metaphorical sense. Okay, so anyways, again, this the sex chakra affects enjoyment of life, reproduction, assimilation, rules over the element of water, and corresponds to emotions. Of course, the energy of the chakra is the driving force of reproduction, and is again related to physical, artistic, and intellectual and social sense. A balanced sex chakra will brings the body and the soul and the spirit into perfect harmony, and the individual is confident and joyful and passionate and very creative in life. Whereas something that's imbalanced, again, either overstimulated or understimulated, there's promiscuity, sexual addiction, especially, um, if you're looking at a lot of sexual content, um, lack of passion, lack of appetite for life. You may experience withdrawal, various obsessions, violent emotions, anger, physical problems associated with this would be um, anything with the chakra that affects the back, particularly the lower back, the spleen area, urinary tract system area, reproductive organs. Okay. I just had a thought with me, and then I kind of lost it. It'll probably come back to me. All right. So, we're going to move on to the solar plexus chakra. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Sorry, before we talk about the solar plexus chakra. Take a look at, go ahead and track around on the internet or even in books on the Hindu religion, Hindu faith. Look at paintings of Hinduism. Okay, if you look at a lot of these paintings of, say, I'm trying to think of like a Hindu god here. And anyways, if you look at a painting of a Hindu god, you'll see that perhaps they're standing like on a pool of water. Let me kind of do a quick search here. Okay, so if we look at, say, like a picture of Shiva, for instance, you're gonna see like some of these pictures of Shiva, perhaps you see the god standing on a pool of water, and you'll find like a lot of these are fairly typical. Either they're sitting on a pool of water or they're standing on a pool of water. That pool of water is a representation of Kundalini energy. Okay, it's a representation that they have a force, or that they've ascended, that they've transmuted that Kundalini energy. They have control over it. Okay, and oftentimes when you see something like that, you often see you often might see the image of a cobra next to them at one point. Again, that cobra is a physical representation of this energy that we're talking about, the Kundalini energy. All right, so the solar plexus chakra, we have associated with fiery emotions, freedom, willpower, your ability to manifest your intentions. It helps to transform your thoughts and your actions, controls your thought processes, expresses your feelings, and is associated with the element of fire. Okay, the balanced influence of this chakra manifests in strong confidence, in vital energy, assists with overcoming many illnesses, maintains strength, and ensures good health in the body. If there are problems with that, blockages in the center, you're going to have somebody that's probably expressing hostility and aggression and frustration, either, if not just towards himself, perhaps even just other people. They have a very arrogant attitude. They're stubborn. They can be very hyperactive. They can be passive, or they can be very competitive, impatient. They blame situations on a lot of people. just a lot of things happening there emotionally. They also have a tendency to want to possess things um, simply out of enjoyment with like no particular reason. They just want to overindulge themselves um, with owning and possessing things. And this can often lead to things like arthritis and diabetes in the body, digestive problems, anorexia, bulimia, ulcers, and any problems related in the digestive system, the stomach, liver, intestines, gallstones, liver, okay, colon. Those types of things will manifest in that area. Let's talk about the heart. Okay, the heart chakra, and this represents expansion and force of expansion and rules over feelings and emotions, of course, and is associated with the element of air, associated with love, compassion, empathy, peace, harmony, all those loving emotions that we like to experience and have in our lives. The chakra, when it's strong and balanced, helps to empower us and keeps us having a harmonious expression of leadership and independence, and supports the ability to gain insight and have a mentality. Gain insight into mentality and character of other people. Lacks or imbalances here, you have a tendency to have someone who's egotistical. Again, they're possessive. They have a lot of tyranny. They want to dominate other people. They are very distrustful or paranoid. They're jealous, depressed, intolerant of others, narcissistic. They only want to think of themselves. Physical disorders that have a tendency to become apparent during an imbalance of the heart chakra. You're going to have something that affects the heart and the lungs, anything with the circulatory system, and the immune system, and even as well as developing allergies to a number of things, just allergies in general, really. So I want to keep that in mind. And that's basically all the lower chakras. Now, the higher chakras at this point, we do have the throat chakra, and this is sorry about that. The throat chakra is the center of our life, and it's associated with the element of the ether or sounds, and supports communication both externally and internally. When balanced, it expands our awareness and creative self-expression, helps us to communicate and be honest with ourselves and others, and ensures flowing manifestation and thought of clarity. Blockages, of course, distorted communication, talking too much or talking too little, people that have poor listening skills. We are generally overly aggressive and egotistical, and we end up attacking others through our speech and our words when this is imbalanced. So you have somebody that likes to express what's on their mind. It's because their throat chakra is overstimulated, and as I say, they're talking before they're thinking. Okay. Disorders here. People that stammer or stutter, they have weak voice, they have laryngitis, problems with the glands in the throat, particularly like the thyroid, and this also does affect the ears to a point. Okay, and then we have the third eye, or what is known as the Ajna Chakra, and that's relatively right up here, or right above the eye, the bridge of the nose, right above the bridge of the nose, between the eyes. This receives inner knowledge of all things. It's from here that the other chakras are guided, and the channels of Inda and Bengala meet. Okay, and this is where all the energy collects before it rises to the crown chakra. So Ida and Pingala are basically, if you, we know the medical symbol that has a staff, the caducus. Did I pronounce that right? Hope I did. With the intertwining snakes, okay, that go up and they meet at the top. So Ida is a representation of Lilith, and Pingala is representation of Samael, or someone, or some might even say Lucifer. And as they meet at the top, that's that union. Okay. This is representative with the element of light, and it also centers around intuition, clairvoyance, and spiritual awareness. When balanced, the Ajna Chakra does function as a gateway to other realms, and allows for things such as astral projection, provides not just knowledge of spiritual connection between all things, but universal knowledge as well. Lack or imbalance in the Ajna Chakra leads to distorted opinions about life, compulsive and obsessive behaviors, overload of psychic energies, mental breakdown, spiritual frustration, bigotry, intolerance, and also relates to poor memory and nightmares and hallucinations. Physical disorders include poor vision, headaches, sinus problems, seizures, learning disabilities, neurological malfunctions. Okay. And then we, of course, have the crown chakra. The crown chakra represents universal consciousness and unbound awareness. It also governs memory, concentration, intelligence, and is this element is connected with thought and connects to the consciousness of the individual with the higher self. When balanced, the chakra does allow you to access infinite intelligence, or omnipotence intelligence, that exists in the universe and allows for self-expression and greater levels of spirituality, helps bring the mind to a fulfillment and a union of knowledge, and the object of knowledge and the knower. Okay? The lack of imbalance has a tendency to result in things like confusion, cynicism, bigotry, greed, domination. We also feel isolated from our spirituality, mental imbalance, and we have a tendency to lose our contact with reality. Physically, this can take form of things like migraines and brain tumors, amnesia, and comas. Alright, and finally I want to just touch base on a couple other chakras here really quick before we call this video done. This information you don't find in a lot of sources, but the information is there if you look for it. And these are referred to as the 3 hidden chakras. Again, I'm not going to get into too much about the 3 hidden chakras. I will talk about their locations within the body and give just a little bit of information on them. But I'm going to kind of leave that to you to go ahead and see if you want to research that a little bit more. The only reason why I'm really kind of touching on this point is that the meditation that we're going to get into in the second part of this video is going to be, there is a point where you do activate these 3 energy points in the body as part of your meditation. So that's the only reason why I want to go ahead and cover this right now. So I'm not going to give a whole lot of information on it, just enough to kind of get you started. And again, if you want to research it a little bit more on your own, you can certainly go ahead and do that. There's plenty of books out there that will discuss it, and plenty of websites. You just have to spend a little bit of time digging through all the info. Okay, so again, they're generally not discussed. But we're going to go ahead and talk about them here. And these three chakras are believed to exist beyond the physical and the spiritual. And in the physical body, they do correspond to 3 points. Okay, and these 3 hidden chakras are called Galata, Lalata, and Lalana. Okay, and so the first one is going to be at the back of the throat, at the uvula. Okay. Okay, and then the next one is above the soft upper palate in the mouth, and then the final one is right above the Ajna chakra at the forehead there. So it's believed that they can only be seen or experienced once the fire snake or the serpent or Kundalini energy is fully awakened, and then is brought up through all the chakras. When you raise the dragon energy or the serpent force or the dragon force up to the 3rd eye, and you focus at this point, and then you focus on the 3rd eye and onto these 3 points, you end up activating them. And while meditating on the dragon force, we also receive glimpses of, again, other chakras that are within our body, within our head, and we can learn about those. Sometimes they are experienced, sometimes these hidden chakras are experienced as corresponding to the physical eyes, and the 3rd eye and the forehead, and other times they are often seen as located in the back of the head. Again, I kind of touched on that a little bit ago when I was talking about my alternative medicine practices, and you have all these additional mini chakras and micro chakras on the body. And finally, they are also felt as completely abstract concepts without any physical or correspondence at all. So that's all the real information I'm going to give on hidden chakras at this point. I don't want to get into too much in depth because it can get kind of confusing for some people. So with that, folks, I'm going to go ahead and call this video short. They're done at this point. We're kind of hitting 40 minutes. So I do bid you very fond farewell, peace, and take care. Bye.